Some legal analysts believe the decision of the Free State High Court to overturn the bail outcome that was earlier handed down by the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court to 3 of the accused in the Thabo Bester case will not have a bearing on the bail application of the 2 men yet to apply for bail. Makhetha and Moeketsi Ramolula will appear in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court today to apply for bail. A total of 12 people have so far been arrested in the case. Our reporter Kamogelo Seekoei is following the story for us, and she joins us live now from the court. Kamogelo, good morning to you. I think this has certainly been one of those cases that has so many layers, particularly as we see the list of suspects get longer and longer. What's expected to happen in court today?
Good morning to you, Naledi, and to the viewers. So today we're expecting that Makhetha as well as Moeketsi Ramolula will apply for bail. The prosecutor did indicate last week when they appeared together with the other accused who was granted bail that they will be opposing bail in this instance. So we expect that today the proceedings for that bail application will take place. But I'm here with our legal analyst, Thabo Bester, who I'd like to bring into the conversation, particularly because the other accused in this matter were actually granted bail by the High Court. I just want to find out from you, will that actually that outcome of the High Court have a bearing on this bail application?
Let us remind one another here that each case must be treated according to its merits. So the bail application today of the 2 accused would not be treated in light of what transpired in the High Court last week. So this case will be treated, separately. It's going to start afresh. The only thing that I can import here is that the legal representatives of the applicants today, they have been given a blueprint by Judge J.J. Mhlambi to say, if the provisions of Section 64 A to E are not met, then you can take the court into your confidence and direct the court and remind the court that we still have the provisions of 60 subsection 9, which would then guide the court before it either grants or before it can decline the bail application. So the chances are vast that the applicants today, they might be granted bail, given the fact that the legal representatives has been giving already answers to the problem that they are having today.
Do you think that the magistrate will treat this particular bail application similarly to what we saw previously with Senohe, Matwara and the others?
There's an adage that says justice has to be seen to be done. And the presiding officer, as the judicial officer, as and when he discharges his responsibility, he must do so without fear or favor. So he must say, I am coming with my mind clear. I'm not sure what has happened last week, even though he knows. So I'm going to listen to the arguments. And based on the arguments, I'm not going to favor them in the light of what transpired last week. So I'm going to be clear-minded. I'm going to approach this with a clear mind. So what happened last week does not have any bearing on this matter.
We saw a very lengthy application process with the other accused. We saw 5 people applying for bail. In this instance, there's only 2. Are we still going to see a similar thing happening in this instance?
Our view is that because it's only 2 applicants, it might not be long. If the applicants are going to bring their application based on affidavits, it's not going to be long. However, there might be, that it might be protracted by arguments, closing arguments. But from where we are standing, it's not going to be that long because there are 2 applicants. 2, as I said earlier on, that there's a blueprint already from the High Court. So the legal representatives today, they just need to tiptoe on what the Judge Mhlambi has said last week. So it's not going to be long in my view.
What are they going to tell the court in your view that will convince the court that it is in the interest of justice that they are granted bail?
Remember, when you apply for bail, you need to demonstrate that it is in the best interest of justice that you are admitted to bail. You also need to demonstrate that I won't evade bail. So they are just going to demonstrate to court that they will come to court until the logical conclusion of the matter. They're not going to tamper with the witnesses, and they're not going to tamper with the administration of justice. That's basically what they're going to be telling the court. But in the event they fail that litmus test, in the sense that probably one of them or two of them, both of them, they've got previous convictions and so on and stuff, then the court will be directed, as I said, to Section 69, which says that the court must weigh the rights, especially the right to freedom of the applicants vis-a-vis the interest of justice. And the other thing that the court needs to be praised of is that these people have got property around Bloemfontein. They are going to lose financially because they are employed. So that being the case, they need to demonstrate, to put all those facts to the court, to say, court, can you please admit me to bail? Because if you don't, then I am likely to suffer all this prejudice.
We saw with Senuhe Matshwara and the other three accused who were not granted bail that they had proven or had proven to the court in terms of them submitting their passports to the investigating officers, but that bail was not granted. What is likely to happen in this instance?
I think rightfully so, Judge J.J. Mhlambe found that the presiding officer who was dealing with the previous bail application erred. So the court is also a human being, it can err. So the worst that could have happened in the previous bail application of Senuhe Matshwara and the others, the court ought to have put stringent or strict conditions to say you shall not, you shall not, you shall not. So unfortunately the court did not do that. But in the light of what transpired, and I'm saying this cautiously, in the light of what transpired in the High Court, much as the court will be objective, the court will be approaching this with a clear mind. The court is gonna, be cautious when it's approaching this bail application, and chances are that the court is gonna grant the bail application today. We stand to be corrected.
Let's talk briefly about Mutanyani Masukela, who's actually the only person who did not approach the High Court to appeal the bail outcome. What are his chances when he goes there?
Remember, for you to approach the court to make an appeal on your bail, there are financial implications involved. So from where I'm standing, probably the applicant that is still not out on bail did not have the financial muscle to appeal his bail application. But his case is similar in all respects to the ones that have been granted by the High Court. So if he can go to court, because his case is similar in all respects, as I said, so he's going to be granted bail as well. But I think he does not have the financial muscle to take it up.
Lastly, the two people that are appearing here in court today, I just want to put you on the spot. Are they likely to get bail without approaching the High Court?
As I said, the legal representatives have been given a memo by Judge J.J. Mhlambe. So if they can strictly adhere to the memo, then the magistrate today, or the presiding officer today, will be left with no option. He'll only be having the Hobson's choice, which is to admit them to bail.
Thank you so much for your time, Ntate Molete. That was Thabo Molete there, just unpacking for us the proceedings for today in terms of the bail application of Joel Makhetha as well as Moeketsi Ramolula. As you've heard it, Naledi, there is a blueprint now that came from the Free State High Court in terms of the court finding that the magistrate actually made a mistake in not granting the accused in this matter bail. But obviously, these two will have to undergo their own process to apply for bail and convince the court that indeed they should be granted bail. It's back to you, Naledi.
Yeah, Kamogelo Seekoei there, keeping a close eye on that story as two suspects in the Thabo Bester prison escape saga apply for bail today. And of course, she'll be keeping us updated on what transpires in the courtroom.